Hey, Mitchell, you want to talk about Combat Patrol?
Not particularly.
Too bad! Hello and welcome to Nature's Rundown. Combat Patrol. So here's the thing. There are folks who like Combat Patrol. I don't think we can sit here and say Combat Patrol is a huge failure.
Universally hated. Incorrect.
And I don't think it is.
It's not.
I do know people who play Combat Patrol and people who like it. I think most people would agree, and if you don't, make sure you leave a comment telling me that you don't agree. Legitimately, do let me know.
Yeah.
I think many people would agree, though, that Age of Sigmar's Spearhead is Combat Patrol with a little more oomph and a little better.
Yes. I feel like there is nothing that Combat Patrol does better than Spearhead, in my opinion.
There is only one thing I think Combat Patrol might do better than Spearhead.
Okay.
Some of the boxes are better entry points into 40K than some of the Spearheads are into Age of Sigmar. But the opposite is also true.
Okay.
And that is one... I think there's two main issues with Combat Patrol. And what we're talking about today is, what's wrong with Combat Patrol and how can Games Workshop fix it for the upcoming 11th edition? Because I got bad news, folks. 11th edition is coming in this summer. You got 6 months. Yeah, sorry, you got 7 months. You got 8 months, because July.
Yeah.
You got 8 months for the 10th edition. Have fun. The wheels turn ever on and on. I would love to be wrong, by the way.
Well, you're not going to be wrong.
Then again, given how much I don't really like 10th edition, maybe I wouldn't love to be wrong. So that we're going to, with that, I think we're going to get some kind of new short form play for 40K. It'll probably still be called Combat Patrol. I don't want them to abandon it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But I want to talk about why we think Combat Patrol doesn't work, what we think they could do to fix it, what lessons they could take from Spearhead, what they could ignore, and what they will take from Spearhead, which we'll get to that.
And what they will ignore.
Yes, and what they will ignore. So, thesis statement.
Okay.
Combat Patrol predates Combat Patrol. The Tautology Department. Welcome to the Tautology Department of Departments of Tautology. But what I mean by that is, the idea of Combat Patrol was not originally a game mode. What was it? Sell boxes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Combat Patrol.
It was start collecting.
Turned into Combat Patrol, which then became...
Yeah.
It wasn't like Spearhead, where it was start collecting, and then Vanguard for a very brief time.
Yeah, there wasn't... I don't even remember why they called it Vanguard. Was there a Vanguard game mode?
Kind of, but not really, not in the same way. And then when Spearhead came out, they were like, oh, screw it, just do Spearheads.
Yeah. All of the Vanguards are usable, but we're calling it Spearhead.
Yeah.
We're changing all the names to Spearhead.
That was well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
So Combat Patrol originally was, look, you buy this to get into an army.
Yeah.
And thesis statement number 1. The boxes that are good to buy as an army starter or an army buffer is not necessarily the best box for a self-contained game mode.
Okay. I'm inclined to agree with you.
I think that's part of the problem, is that what makes a well-balanced team when you have a small team is not the best value for your money if you are already playing the army or looking to get into the army. Little less so looking into the army, because if you're looking to get into the army, it is kind of a good deal to have an HQ, some infantry, and some kind of big thing. Whether that be a big punchy infantry unit or a big punchy vehicle unit, depending on the faction. Which leads us into problem number 2.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't know if they can fix that one.
Really?
Because if you make boxes that are good for Combat Patrol or Spearhead, this is a great team. It's well balanced. It's got some stuff in it that can deal with everything. And it's fun to play. You can't do that if you're also worried about making it balanced for 40K for all factions.
Sure. I think one of the best things they could do and have done is the Combat Patrol or Spearhead that is not in its own box. I think each start collecting, each Combat Patrol, each Spearhead should be its own box. But, sorry, the other way around. Each box should be a Combat Patrol.
It should be a team.
But there should be stuff on top of that you can do instead.
Kind of like the Leviathan, where you could make 2 Combat Patrols from Leviathan.
Yes, something like that, where it's like, here is the thing that is a good deal and is good to get into the game, and you can play Combat Patrol with it.
Right.
And here is the thing that is well balanced, but it doesn't necessarily have its own box.
Okay.
I think that is a good comparison between the two. I don't think they'll do that though.
No.
I want them to.
Yeah, like I think they're getting away from that. We've seen this with Kill Team, where Kill Team has become almost entirely, I don't know, I think there's like 1 or 2 exceptions still.
Yeah.
But almost entirely about discrete boxed teams that
you buy one box, door done.
And maybe a second one if you want all the options.
Yeah.
But generally, they've kind of gotten away from build a team out of things you buy otherwise. I think Blades of Cain are like the last holdout for that.
The only other one that I can think of is actually I don't even know if they're in the game anymore, but Deathcore, because Deathcore is like, if you want to, you can add 4 extra models and take like 2 less VP.
Even that I just count as the second box, buy a second box tax.
I don't even know what Blades of Cain has then.
Banshees and Scorpions and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it had like all the.
But they only gave you 1 box.
But they only gave you the Scorpions.
Yeah,
the box was Scorpions, but you could also add Banshees and Dire Avengers.
Yeah,
I believe.
I forgot about that.
I think they're still in the current
season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's another word they use for it. Classified ops. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever. Mitchell doesn't play Kill Team, and you can tell.
Yep.
So I don't think we're gonna see that for that reason. I think they're gonna.
That's fair.
They're getting away from that, which is a little weird, but I get why.
They want a purchase to be like they don't want a purchase to have extra add-ons, which is weird for GW. You'd think they would.
Right. Right.
OG GW was like, oh yeah, you get 1 Dark Lance in this box. You can run 6.
Well, that was the problem with original Kill Team.
Yeah.
Was, you can run 8 plasma guns in guard. You get 1 in a box.
Yeah. So buy 7 more boxes, nerd.
eBay. I think they stopped that because 3D printing happened.
You know
they were
what?
like, oh god, never mind. Never mind.
And they were like, well, if I'm gonna 3D print the gun, I could just 3D print the whole guy. Wait.
Finish the sentence.
Calm down.
Which kind of brings us into the problem of number 2.
Okay.
And this is the problem with Combat Patrol that Spearhead doesn't have. It's the toughness chart.
Yeah.
So, one of the problems with Combat Patrol that we have griped about constantly, and they've kind of gotten away from this in their own way by changing what they put in the box, but then sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
In 40K, which this is not a complaint about 40K, by the way. I should really specify that. But in 40K, certain weapons don't, and certain models don't necessarily have the ability to threaten other models very well, by no fault of the model's own. Mostly down to toughness, and not less so armor piercing. When you're hitting only wounding on 6s, it's really hard to overcome weight of dice.
Yep.
But like at the end of the day, there's anti-infantry and there's anti-vehicle / anti-monster, anti-high toughness weapons. And you kind of need to spec into anti-vehicle in 40K in order to not get rolled by your Legion of Tanks.
Right.
Anti-infantry kind of takes care of itself a little more.
Every gun is good against infantry in a certain way.
Right. Even the really big ones at least will murder 1 model. Unless you are speccing super hard into guns that only deal 1 shot but do a ton of damage.
Right.
Which is actually very few anti-tank guns. Most anti-tank guns still have like 5 or 6 shots.
Yeah.
Unless your enemy is speccing really hard into horde mode, building for anti-tank is usually the better play in 40K, generally.
Yeah.
In Combat Patrol, there's 2 problems with that. Number 1, you have very, very few tools. You probably only have 3 to 4 discrete units.
And you can't change the units that you have.
Most of the time, you can't change anything about them.
Yep.
If you're lucky, you get maybe 1 anti-armor unit.
And if that dies...
So if your opponent has the ability to either remove that very quickly, or if you're unlucky and the box you picked just doesn't have great anti-armor,
and your opponent has armor,
like a Redemptor Dreadnought, or I was about to say a Land Raider. There's no Land Raiders in fucking Combat Patrol.
Oh, I wish.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
A Rhino or whatever, which is not an offensive powerhouse, but it has a gun.
But it will never die.
Right. It really, Combat Patrol has the problem of certain models not being able to be affected by other models.
Yes.
Despite those models otherwise being very good at killing things. We saw this with the old Guard Combat Patrol.
Yep.
I have not played the new Guard Combat Patrol because the horses do not interest me, but they are the Attilan Lancers who do have melta tips on their.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they can do some oomph. But the old Guard Combat Patrol, you had your Sentinel, and you had your field guns.
Yeah.
But the field guns were more of the anti-horde artillery.
Yep.
And your Sentinel was kind of the only thing that could kind of do anything against armor, And if that thing died, and it wasn't that tough.
It's like, what, toughness 6?
I mean, toughness, I think toughness 7, because I believe it was the
Toughness 7.
armored
Was it an armor
version.
one? Okay.
Yeah. It wasn't bad, and that wasn't a bad combat patrol, but also wasn't great.
Yeah. You come up across one with a dreadnought, and you're like...
Yeah, the thing you have on there is not actually that good at killing the dreadnought.
No.
And that's kind of a problem that they've kind of started to get away from. We've commented about this a lot on our Sunday rundowns. Whenever we see a combat patrol, it's like, oh, look, it's more infantry. It's an infantry-heavy combat patrol. It's just a bunch of intercessors. It's a bunch of bikes. Those aren't, and this is where we get into the tie-in with problem number 1.
Yeah.
If you want to have combat patrol be balanced, you would need to not have a lot of armor.
Right.
So then you would need to not include any armor. That makes certain factions not have fun.
Yeah, a box looks way less good if there's not like a big cool thing to center around.
Exactly. And the one hero character that Games Workshop values at $45,
yeah,
but is a single guy this big, doesn't always count.
Yeah. Funnily enough, the toughness problem is one of the issues I still have with Age of Sigmar, in that there is no toughness value, there is only 2 wound value.
Correct.
So wounding a mega boss on the back of a dragon and wounding a grot is the same.
Yes, 40K puts a model's durability in its toughness and its save stat and shenanigans. Age of Sigmar really only has the save stat and other shenanigans. And Age of Sigmar has to add more shenanigans when they want something to be actually tough.
Right.
Because the reality is that yes, a souped up bunch of roid raging plague monks. I don't think they can still do this, but back in the day, they could kill absolutely anything, despite the fact of being that is a diseased monk with a greasy stick.
And that is Archaon.
That just beat Archaon to death.
Yeah.
Yes, there were 40 of them, but that doesn't always match the power fantasy. Like,
right.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that's not a criticism of 40K.
Right.
Or that's not necessarily a benefit in Age of Sigmar's favor. Some people consider it to be.
Yeah, I think it's one of the reasons that Combat Patrol works so well, despite it being one of my gripes about big Age of Sigmar.
You mean Spearhead works so well?
Where Spearhead works so well is
Yes.
because you don't have to worry about the toughness imbalance.
In Age of Sigmar, with some exceptions, a damaged unit is a damaged unit.
Yep.
Which can be a problem in of itself for Age of Sigmar, as we've seen with their General's Handbooks balancing. They've had to balance around the idea of a hammer is a hammer is a hammer. And when a hammer is a hammer, it's always a hammer. And sometimes it's hard to hammer that hammer down.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, okay, so this thing is super mobile and super hard hitting. It's just going to kill almost anything in the game.
It's going to charge and kill whatever it wants, and then survive, and then do it again.
Right. So not to say that Age of Sigmar doesn't have its own problems.
Yeah.
But in Spearhead, that ends up working way better.
Yes, I agree.
Because you can put big single monsters in there if you want, and the things that are going to kill big single monsters are, for the most part, also going to kill hordes of clan rats.
Yeah. Oh, and also the damage flowing between models in Sigmar, which doesn't happen in 40K.
Yeah, that's part of that. Where in Sigmar, damage, bleeds between damages to a unit, whereas in 40K, damages to a model.
A 4 damage weapon in Sigmar
is always good.
Doesn't matter what your target is. In 40K, a 4 damage weapon, first of all, is rare. And second of all, does basically nothing to guardsmen.
Right. If it's a single shot.
Yeah.
The actual reality is in that 40K, many 4 damage weapons are accompanied by many attacks.
True.
40K doesn't have a lot of, there are. It doesn't have a lot of single shot high damage weapons.
No.
And they tend to not be taken in big 40K, specifically because they're only good. And they also fail against invulnerability saves.
True.
Which is one of the major shenanigans. I don't factor that as a save, because there's toughness, save, and shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Invulnerability is a shenanigan. It's one of the main shenanigans GW relies on to make a model tougher in the face of things that are designed to kill it.
Which, again, is a problem it is a thing in 40K, not in Sigmar.
Yes.
Except for
Night
ghosts.
Yeah. And it got kind of nixed for this edition. And it's kind of started creeping its way back in with some things. It always will. And I have a feeling it'll creep back in and get nixed again. Because GW has to figure out, how do we make a model tough? And if you want a model's identity to be I am tough, how do you do that? And if the answer is, well, it doesn't matter, the Fellow Knights just crashed into it and it exploded.
Yeah.
Or those Blood Knights crashed into it and it exploded because they threw more dice than God. Could God make an orc that throws so many dice even he could not resist it? In Age of Sigmar, no, there's always more dice.
No, there's always more dice.
Baron Guard, Blood Knights, the Morbeg Knights, lots of things just hit you and you evaporate. And in big Age of Sigmar, the way around that is you put things in front of it.
Whereas you can't do that in Spearhead. And again, Spearhead is more balanced in and of itself because of that.
Right.
But back onto Combat Patrol.
Combat Patrol, right. So, how do they fix that toughness issue?
There was rumors at the end of 9th edition that 10th edition would get rid of toughness.
There has been that rumor since the end of 3rd. Which was before I was playing, but you know what? I'm going to guess that rumor was there.
I don't think it was. I think it started when they got rid of it because Sigmar happened. So
Right.
10 years ago.
Right, yeah. Only 10 years. Yeah, this is the 10th anniversary, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
And I could see them doing it eventually.
I could see them doing it for Combat Patrol.
Ooh, interesting.
Because they have done it for 140k property already.
Okay.
Kill Team.
That's true.
What did they do with Kill Team? Nobody has toughness in Kill Team.
Nope.
In Kill Team, your toughness is based on your armor save, and that's only in shooting.
Yeah.
And shenanigans.
Yeah. True.
And that's it. That is the end of toughness in Kill Team. And whatever we want to say, we do have our complaints about Kill Team. You more than me, but actually, you don't even have more complaints than me about Kill Team. I just enjoy it a little bit more, despite the complaints, I think.
Yeah, fair.
Because all your complaints, I go, no,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, that's correct. Yes, no, that's a problem. Yeah, it took us 45 minutes to set up this game. So they've broken the seal. I think that possibility is there.
Interesting.
And the possibility is there because Spearhead has shown that they are willing to have their short form game diverge from the long form game in pretty significant ways.
That's true.
Spearhead diverges from Age of Sigmar more than Combat Patrol diverges from 40k.
Oh, yeah. Combat Patrol is basically 40k, but your list is fixed.
Right.
And it's less complicated.
Right.
Spearhead is an entire, like, the base rules are the same, but the game mode is entirely different.
Yes, Spearhead feels like playing a different game.
Yeah.
In a way that Combat Patrol does not. And I think what the problems with Combat Patrol is like, and this is not a criticism of 40k, but Combat Patrol's problems are 40k's problems turned up to 11 because you have much less space to work with.
That's fair.
You have so many fewer guys in the table, and when something goes wrong in the way that it goes wrong in 40k, and you only have 3 units, you're like, well, okay, I just lose then.
Yeah.
Whereas in 40k, it's like, well, okay, yeah, I got 40k'd, but you know.
I mean, I have the other 1,500 points in my army or whatever.
Right, and you don't have that in combat.
You don't have that in combat.
So I think that Spearhead's shown their willingness to do that.
Sure.
And I could see them doing that
Interesting.
for Combat Patrol. It could be a removal of toughness. It could be a capping of it.
Okay. I could see that. Maybe even just changing their stat line so that some of the really, really tough stuff is less tough.
It could be into the territory of, like, only making the boxes have infantry.
Yes, that is a possibility, and like we said, they're kind of leaning that direction anyway.
Number 3.
Number 3. In a similar vein to what I just said, in that it feels just like smaller 40k but simpler. I think it's too simple. I think Spearhead is too simple. No, Combat Patrol. I think Combat Patrol is too simple. You have exactly one box. You have 2 choices. What's your secondary objective and what enhancement you have on your leader. That's it. That's all you get. In Spearhead, it is similar that you have like a sub-faction you can take and a thing that you can put in your leader. First of all, there's more options. And second of all, there's the whole secondary card system and varying objectives depending on the board that you're on and the cards that you pick and the direction that you set up and the terrain and all that stuff. None of that is in Combat Patrol.
I honestly kind of forgot that none of that was in Combat Patrol.
Yeah, Combat Patrol is very, very simple. You have hold an objective, you have your secondary, and that is it.
Yes, and the secondary is part of list building.
Yes.
Or is part of the...
you pick it at the start of the game.
Is part of... And it's your options are from your Combat Patrol.
Yes.
Each
Combat Patrol has 2.
And some of them are not good.
No.
Some of them are like, why would you ever pick that?
Whereas in Spearhead, you have a sub-faction that you get to pick that helps you determine what you do on the board, where 40k doesn't have that.
No.
It has an enhancement that you can put on your leader that chooses what you do with them. Granted, 40k does have that.
Yes, 40k. Combat Patrol does have that.
Combat Patrol does have that. But the card system, I think, is the main reason that I like Spearhead so much more. If they literally put the card system from Spearhead into Combat Patrol, I would play it significantly more often. Even if they didn't change the options that you can pick, like I just said, the sub-factions or whatever, just the variation from game to game makes it so much more interesting.
I think that brings us greatly to next section, which is what would we do to fix it?
There you go.
So we've established why we don't necessarily love Combat Patrol, which is, just to recap, number one, the Combat Patrols themselves feel at odds with their intended purpose.
Yep.
Number two, it's just some stuff just doesn't have the ability to affect other stuff. And number three, there's not a lot to it.
Yes.
We'll actually start with number three there, because I think that is the easiest fix and also the one that I would put money on Games Workshop doing.
I agree.
Games Workshop is going to steal the card system, probably tweak it slightly, and use it in Combat Patrol. That is a dummy, no-brainer move for two reasons. Number one, it makes the game better. And number two, it lets you sell things.
Yeah, you can sell a whole pack of, hey, look, here's Combat Patrol 1.0 at the start of the
season
edition.
2. Like, we've already seen this, and that is one complaint, and the complaint people do have about Spearhead is like, well, now I feel like I gotta buy the new season, the Bone and Dust and Bone or whatever.
Sand and Bone.
Sand and Bone. And like,
I didn't buy Sand and Bone.
No, and you don't have to. Just like you don't have to upgrade to the new edition, but you kind of
should.
If your gaming group does, you can kind of feel left behind. That's less of an issue in Spearhead when only one person needs to buy the darn cards.
Yeah.
But even so, it is more monetization, right? Which means GW is going to do it.
Yeah.
Because
it is the opportunity for you to spend money and them to make money.
So, and you know what? I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, in this case, they should.
Yeah, I agree.
Dear shareholders, make more money off of Combat Patrol, because they really have let it wither on the vine, except for releasing new Combat Patrols.
Yep.
Most of which are not exciting.
Nope. And the fact that the edition starter box of Scaventide had all of that stuff in it, no-brainer.
Also a no-brainer. I mean, in 40K Combat Patrol, it was free release later.
It was free release.
And I guess, and this is, I know there are some folks who really do not like having to buy physical components for their games like that.
True.
They just really want everything digital. And for those folks, Combat Patrol being self-contained digital, not requiring the cards, because you do need the cards to play Spearhead.
Yes, that is required.
There is physical accoutrement that you need. And that is a turnoff for some folks.
True.
You could have your cake and eat it too in that case, though, because you could provide those cards digitally.
They're not gonna.
They could. Like, if they're gonna make it all digital anyway.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I kind of equate the Spearhead card system to the 40K chapter approved.
And like, let's be honest, that's what they're going to do. Although, again, Kill Team.
Yeah, true.
Rules have gone completely digital.
There's
the one card pack that they want to sell you, the TAC Ops chapter, the approved,
which is their chapter approved.
Yeah, they're chapter approved, but they now the team's just released. Put them on the app for free.
Yeah,
doesn't even require Warhammer Plus for that app, which is astounding to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't tell them. I think they just don't know.
It is a glorified PDF reader. It is the worst app they have. But it's free rules, and I'll take it.
The Kill Team app I actually think is better than the 40K app.
I fully and wholeheartedly disagree.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's quite okay.
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's a different discussion. But anyway,
again, I have more complaints about Kill Team than you do.
I guess that's one I didn't realize you had. Okay. Wrong. But either way, what they're probably going to do is do the same thing they did with Spearhead and monetize the season system. And you know what? If the option is between doing that and just leaving Combat Patrol as is, I think they should do that, because it will make Combat Patrol a better game. If you don't want to play it, just don't buy it and and if you like Combat Patrol as it is, keep playing that.
Yeah, exactly.
People are gonna do
hey.
But either way, like, that would be the easy home run for them to fix the problem of both you not thinking if there's enough to it, because I agree there's not enough meat to Combat Patrol. There's not enough replayability.
No.
It feels like the replayability in Combat Patrol is buying into Combat Patrol.
Yep.
Which is a different kind of monetization.
But you can still have the replayability in buying new Combat Patrol while having the replayability with the same Combat Patrol.
That's what I would hope too,
which is what they do in Spearhead.
And I wonder if people buying those Combat Patrols is buffing their numbers up enough that the bean counters don't know or care.
I hope not.
Like that is the only thing I can think is, like, we don't need to fix Combat Patrol. Combat Patrol is selling great.
No. Please
shares.
Fix it. Please fix it. Yeah.
Stonks. Problem number 2, the one in the middle, was the one about certain models not being able to affect other models.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 2 ways they can fix that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, they could design combat patrols to never have that.
Balance your game.
I mean, and asking GW to balance your game like that seems like a fool's errand.
Correct.
Because I've been here enough to know that's not happening. So
Been here one whole 40K edition, and yep.
Hey, I was here for the back end of 9th.
Back end of 9th, you're right.
I had a whole guard army. I played the heck out of that.
True.
Enough to be really irritated when I bought the book, and 3 months later it was.
That was so funny.
No, it wasn't. But anyway, yeah, that's not gonna happen.
No.
So I think it would be far easier for them to write combat patrol with that in mind.
Yeah. Have some kind of rules change so that it lessens that blow.
Right.
What that is, I don't know.
Like, the extreme would be there's no toughness, that we kill team this.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say that we Age of Sigmar this. I'm going to say that we kill team this.
Mm-hmm. So there's a hit roll, and there's a save roll, and then that's it.
Yeah. Make it go faster, too. That would also make it snappier, which is one of the nice things that we like about kill team, at least I do, is that it is like, okay, I shot you. You either got some defense dice or you didn't.
Yeah, one thing I can say about kill team is that it's very short.
Once you start playing, the game is snappy.
Yeah, that's true.
Once you start playing.
It's the getting that part.
It's the 45 minutes beforehand where it is not. Speaking of card packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it like 40K.
No, God.
Or like Kill Team. Don't do it like Kill Team.
Yeah.
I like Kill Team in a lot of ways. It's one thing I don't particularly like is how long it takes to set up the darn game and picking all your enhancements and all that stuff. I think the key there is make it part of list building, not you pick when you see your opponent.
Yeah, I agree. Some of that can be when you see your opponent, not all of it.
Yeah. But yeah, the big issue there is that like you either need to somehow give the ability for everything to affect everything.
Yeah.
Or just not have them in the game at all.
Both of those seem like far cries. I feel like of those, the more likely one is they put something in removal of toughness, some toughness cap, changing stat lines, whatever, so that it's more likely for a guardsman squad to take out a dreadnought.
Right.
I don't know if they will.
Yeah, that's the one I am the most suspicious of.
Yeah.
The one I don't think that they'll actually do. Which is change that. I think that's just a part of 40K's identity.
True.
And I think they feel that is therefore part of Combat Patrol's identity.
Which is dumb. Because while it is a part of 40K's identity, it is easier to get around in big 40K than it is in when you have 4 units.
Well, and also in 40K, it's part of its identity in the sense of you're supposed to build your list around that.
Yeah, and you can't.
I didn't bring any anti-tank weapons and I got rolled by a tank list.
Wow, get better, kid.
With very few exceptions, you have the ability to bring anti-tank weapons.
Yeah.
There are some exceptions, and some of them are really bad, and that's a different issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first one that we got to was that the combat patrols, sales-wise, do not feel like they are pushing towards the same goal of making Combat Patrol a good game.
Right.
And I have difficulty articulating why this isn't nearly as much of an issue for Spearhead.
Yeah, because it should be the same thing. But for some reason, I feel like number 1 and number 2 are inherently.
They are. I think it's 2 things. Number one and two are number 2 are inherently equal, or inherently tied together. Which is that sometimes the reason why the combat patrols feel like bad investments into 40K, or they're good investments into 40K but bad combat patrols, is that there's like it has a rhino in there.
Yeah.
And a rhino is not a fun thing in combat patrol. It's a unit that is a transport.
Yeah, and that doesn't exist in Age of Sigmar.
No, the idea of a dedicated transport isn't a thing.
Yeah.
The idea of a flyer.
Everything has a use. How varied that use is dependent.
Right.
But like having a spearhead, having a combat patrol that has a vehicle in it, is either ridiculously powerful or useless depending on the vehicle.
Right.
Why would I need the extra speed on a 30-inch board? Like I can advance and get the same distance. Like I don't understand that about transports. The main issue I have here is you can actually all 3 of these issues are tied into one, because you can have an interesting box that doesn't have a big centerpiece model in it,
Mhm.
or does, and they can play well against each other because of the balance and the stats and all that stuff. Whereas in 40K, the really cool big stuff is generally hard to kill.
Yeah, and if it's not, people don't like it.
Exactly. Like,
Big stuff that dies to, and part of that is just the prevalence of shooting in 40K.
that's true.
Which I was gonna say is not as much an issue. It's not as much an issue in Age of Sigmar, but also it was a big enough issue that the last season was like, if you're by something, you can't be shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God.
So I feel like they're more likely to change the rules to make the toughness matter less. I think they just don't care about our number one option.
Yeah, that is the big thing, is that sales will always trump the game, especially in 40K. And I think really the bigger problem with number one, the fact that the what's in the box doesn't seem to be pushing towards a good game.
Mm-hmm.
Often it doesn't seem to be pushing towards good sales, because we've often joked about, it's like, oh, so they have a lot of that model.
Yeah.
Oh, so
that model isn't selling.
Yeah, so we have a lot of spare Mario Karts. Guess we're putting them in that one box, and then people still aren't gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Or maybe they do. And I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah, that's all internal, like, back end mumbo jumbo.
I think a lot of it comes down to 40K's model bloat.
Yeah.
That Age of Sigmar does not suffer from in the same way.
Yeah, true.
Partially because they just, murdered half the Stormcast faction.
Yeah, they've cut more models out of the game.
They're getting too big for Marines.
The factions themselves are smaller
and newer
because the game has not been around as long.
Right.
They can't just keep going and going and going and going, and like they do in 40K.
So what we're saying is 40K needs an end times.
Yeah.
Okay, not really. I am not. Oh God. Hey, look. Hey, you want to open this giant can of worms? I don't know, because I wasn't around for the end times.
Yeah, I wasn't either.
Anyway, so we're not gonna get into the thing of a 40K end times, because first off, I don't think the 40K end times would actually solve that issue, because I don't think they would nix all of the old stuff.
No, they wouldn't.
And how would they even? Oh God,
it wouldn't actually be an end times.
No.
It would be a rules rewrite, which we just got with 10th edition.
There is no rules rewrite in Bossing Say. I just this.
So we got it in 8th edition because 7th edition was one of the worst things that they've ever done, and everybody hated it. 8th edition got a rewrite.
Everyone disliked that.
8th edition got a rules rewrite. Then 10th edition got a rules rewrite. I don't think we're gonna get it again in 11th.
No,
that would be too soon.
No.
And I don't think it will ever be as big as it was from 7th to 8th.
Now, they don't actually refer to 40K 10th edition internally as 10th edition, do they? They just call it...
No, they call it 10th edition.
They do. They have...
At the beginning of every edition, they always say the new edition, and then they call it 10th.
Short of a rules rewrite.
Yeah.
Which, could include losing toughness.
True.
I don't think there's any way that you can fix issue number 1 of the boxes not being necessarily good. Not necessarily good for for 40K.
Mm-hmm.
Partially because that also is a problem in Spearhead.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as notable a problem, but I realized while doing research for this, the reason it's not as notable a problem is that there's about twice as many combat patrols as there are spearheads.
Oh my God, really?
How many different Marine combat patrols are there?
You know what? Fair. Half of the combat patrols are just Marines.
Sure, but there are as many. I don't know if they're all currently for sale.
Oh yeah, probably.
But there are as many rules for Marine combat patrols as there are for spearheads.
Yeah, I believe that.
And when you have that many more, you're gonna have more stinkers.
True.
And they're not gonna slow the Marine train down anytime soon.
So what I could see, here's the solution.
Until Skaven come out.
Here's the solution to set number 1. All of the ones that aren't available for sale anymore, get rid of.
Well, then you have the problem of cycling out rules for things people paid for, and people get irritated about that.
That'd be fine. This is 40K.
You should be used to it, but
if someone bought a combat patrol to play combat patrol and nothing else, they'll buy another one.
Now you're thinking like a Games Workshop investor.
They'll buy another one.
They'll buy another one.
Put it on their credit card.
Bring me my cigarettes.
So unlike Spearhead, which I think people did because the game is interesting enough, buy Spearheads just to play Spearhead.
Yes.
I don't think people bought combat patrols just to play combat patrol and not to eventually build a big 40K.
I did with one.
Which one?
Drakari.
I fully did not know you bought that.
Yeah, want to buy some Drukhari?
No.
Yeah, no one does it as anyone else. I played it like once, and it was like, wow, that was kind of fun, but I think I was desperately trying to find fun in Combat Patrol, and I was like, maybe if I go Xenos, I'll have some fun in Combat Patrol.
No, I've tried that.
Yeah, it didn't work.
It's not great.
No.
Combat Patrol's just not great.
No, I tried. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess I really think Combat Patrol can be made good.
I agree. I think they need a card system or some other more in-depth system like Spearhead has, and I would think it would be a lot better.
I think, yeah, just stealing the format alone, like you're still going to have the toughness issues and you're still going to have the box issues, but at least if there's the bones of a good game, that's going to be way better for it than what it is right now.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they haven't done almost anything for Combat Patrol except release new Combat Patrols, which are really just start collectings, is testament to the fact that
they've kind of pushed it off to the side and they're like, we'll deal with you later.
But then again, I imagine that's because the sales numbers say they're doing fine. Combat Patrols are selling well.
Well, yeah, because they're good deals to get into 40K.
That does not matter to the person counting those numbers.
It does not.
That person has never painted a miniature in his life.
Number go up.
Yeah, number went up. Line went up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of making the line go up,
comment down below. Give us a like.
Let us know below. How would you fix Combat Patrol? Would you fix Combat Patrol? Does it need fixing? Are you someone who thinks it doesn't? And leave us a like and a comment if you can. Helps the channel.
If you can.
Helps our line go up.
Yep.
We will see you next time on Miniatures Rundown.
Bye.